Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Embroidery Nerd, the Needle Bar. I am joined by Justin Armenta from JA Digitizing Studios. I'm Jeff Fuller from Fuller Embroidery Works. This is Adam Fuller from BJJHats.com, and we have a special guest with us, Kristine Shreve from Applique Getaway and the Women in Business podcast. And I think there's another one.
LinnyPenny.com or Kristine Shreve Consulting or some other stuff, but those are the big ones.
Those are the big ones. We'll go with the big ones then. All right. So we have in the comments, we have Bevy Jean watching from her TV but can't comment. We have Miss Cindy King from Texas. We have Barb LaFawn. Good evening. And Matt says I give up.
I got the sheltering part, but I don't get the chill will cat part.
I know what it is. How can you guys not know?
Because we're not 11.
It says sheltering, chill with cat. The W stands for with.
There you go.
Oh!
We have Cindy.
Yeah, okay.
Watching.
I'm old, Adam. What do you want?
I just figured you guys knew that because everyone here is probably 10 to 20 times smarter than me.
I don't go that far.
At least 10.
We have Cindy King watching from Odessa, Texas. We have Marla Moore. Hello. We have Mr. Frank Dunn. Good morning. We have Gina from Oklahoma City. And we have Terry watching from... She just says, hi, Adam. He's the popular one. I'm the one that shows up and sits next to him. We were not expecting him to be on the live today. He was not planning on it.
Yeah.
I told him he could crash it, though, because we're going to be talking about Applique Getaway, which is coming up in Texas. In July. So how many weeks away are we, Kristine?
Week count, I don't know exactly because I just put my fingers in my ears and go la 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 because I don't want to know. Because we still have stuff to get finalized and done before the show happens. It's July 15th through 17th. So however many weeks that is.
Gotcha. All right. Well, so we're both really excited. I'm going to be teaching a class on hats. Justin's going to be teaching 3D Puff. Adam's going to be teaching about being a young entrepreneur. You can see his excitement in his face. He drew PowerPoint slides on paper because apparently that's what they do.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Like, I know how to do PowerPoint. I just need a notebook. Really confused, but it's actually going to be all of our first show, not your first show. It's going to be our first Applique Getaway teaching it, and I know quite a few people are registering, and it's going to be their first time as well. So, as somebody, I guess from the outside that hasn't done it before, what's something that we should expect when we go to Applique Getaway?
Big thing I think is how friendly everybody is, how open it is, and how accepting. And you'll meet people who just will become your best friends in like no time at all, which I think is amazing. And it's so much fun. And that was my kind of my big revelation is how welcoming everybody was and how they accepted me. And you have to remember, I am not one of you in the sense that I don't do the stuff that you guys do. I'm kind of like, I snuck in and you're stuck with me and you can't get rid of me now. But I don't embroider. I don't print. I can't even draw a stick figure properly. That's not my talent. But they embraced me and they were happy to see me, and they'll be the same for you guys. Oh, they'll love you guys because you guys are the M nerds. They already know who you are. So you're going to have a really good time. And Adam is going to be king of the show. I am fairly confident.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you're definitely winning the record for the youngest teacher that probably is teaching anywhere at any show this year. So there you go.
He can't teach you the impression show. They have a age limit.
Mm-hmm.
They won't
I
let
like
him
the
do it.
comment that says, "Oh, Kristine, we love you so much." I feel so good now.
You know, I actually met you, not in person, but I was first introduced to you about 7 years ago. I called Enmart, and me and you spent a good hour and 20 minutes on the phone.
Probably.
Because I had no idea what I was doing. And I got a very big box. And that was really when I started into this business. I was trying to make patches. And of course, that was what Starty Emblem did. And I was searching for good patch fabric, I guess, which they have really good patch fabric. It can give you a little nauseous to your stomach if you laser it with no ventilation. I learned that one the hard way. But I feel like I've known you forever already because I met you so long ago. But I think we've only actually met in person once.
Yeah, we met in Fort Worth last year, I think.
Yep. So I'm pretty excited to be going to the Applique Getaway. I think you're having fun. I hope you're having fun marketing for it. I don't know how much fun marketing is, but I hope you're having fun marketing for it.
Some days it's more fun than others, but yeah, I mean, this is Lindsay's the founder of the show. She's amazing. She's so fun to work with. We complement each other really well. And don't get me wrong, running a show, huge job. There are so many details, but when it all works and it comes together and you see all the people that are learning things and meeting people and getting to celebrate what they love to do, it's like there's nothing better. I mean, plus there's a payoff. A lot of things when I was at Enmart, I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved helping people, but getting to see the results of that didn't happen that often. And this, it's like I put a ton of work into it, but then I get to go to a thing and actually see it happen. So that's awesome. Plus, it's an amazing show. I'm really proud to be a part of it. So that's my little pitch, I guess, or one of them. There will probably be more because, that's what I do.
Well, I know for, I think all garment decorators really, and everybody that manufactures something, you send out a lot of product, you embroider, a lot of things, or sublimate or heat press, and you send a lot of it out, but you rarely see it ever get used. And it can be discouraging. Right. And to actually see somebody post, "Hey, I'm really happy about this," or, post, "This worked out great." You don't get that a lot. And so I can see how that'd be really rewarding as someone running a show. Now I'm going to put you on the spot here. And so I would be very careful how you answer. No, I'm just kidding. What class are you most excited for that's going to be at the Applique Getaway?
Oh, that's so not fair.
I told you
because I recruited everybody who's teaching. There's not a class on that schedule that I'm not excited about because they wouldn't be on the schedule if I didn't think the teachers were good teachers. But I have to say, and I am not sucking up to either you nor your young man sitting next to you there, but I think because of its uniqueness, the Parenting the Young Entrepreneur class is something I'm really excited about because there isn't anything else like that out there. And I think the perspective is going to be hugely valuable to a lot of people who maybe have kids who want to have businesses. But all the classes, honestly, we have such a stellar slate of instructors this year. I mean, I'm teaching 4 classes. I'm kind of excited about those.
Well, I know which ones you're going to attend, those 4.
Well, I have to attend those 4 because there is no class if I'm not there. And otherwise, attending classes that I'm not teaching is a little tough. Lindsay and I try to stagger who's in a class and who isn't. So one of us is always available in case there's an issue or a problem or something that needs to be taken care of. She's teaching 2 classes. I'm teaching 4 classes. But occasionally I'll sneak into somebody else's class. Some people don't like that though. Some of the instructors tell me that they'd rather I didn't come to their class because it makes them nervous. So
I
mean,
believe it.
You believe it?
I do. I believe it. You know, it's one of those things that when you see somebody that's out there a lot, which you are with the Women in Garment Decoration,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're from Enmart, you were from Enmart, I should say, because they're not around anymore. But you know, you've been around the industry.
And I wasn't from Enmart prior to them not being around anymore. But anyway,
I know. I'm sorry about that.
It's all right.
I'm trying to be okay. But you know, when you get somebody that you look up to in the industry, and you know, they walk into your classroom and you sit down and you get so nervous because, you know, it's like with, I attended one of Eric's classes at Impressions Expo, and I can't imagine being the teacher and having him walk in and sit down at my class. I would be petrified. Just, you know, I would be petrified.
Well, Eric, I have to say, and I love Eric. He's a dear friend of mine and has been for years. He's a whole different animal, though, because he is a beast. I mean, the amount of prep work and the amount of information that he puts into one of his classes is just insane. I mean, I think I'm bad, but I'm nothing compared to him. I mean, you know, 40-page handouts. Come on. You know, but he is, you know, God love him and I love him. He's like I said, a very dear friend of mine, but he's another level.
Thanks for making it more scary there, Jeff.
Just for you, Justin.
Making me more nervous about the classes.
So I shouldn't go sit in your class, Justin, because that's what I was going to say is if I was intimidating Jeff and Adam, I'd go sit in your class.
Well, I've done the online stuff, but I've never done one in person so far. So
you're going to be great. I wouldn't have asked you if I didn't think you could do it.
I've been lucky enough to sit through 4 of Justin's classes, maybe 5. We'll have to do the official count later because I don't really know. But Justin puts a lot of effort into his classes. You can really see, you know, when somebody puts a lot of forethought into it, when they really, really prepare. You can really see that when they're up there teaching. Even if they're nervous, you can still see it.
Well, and the thing is, we're all nervous when we start. When I did my first class, and I've told this story like 5 million times, I'm going to tell it again. I'm becoming Terry Combs. I'm so sorry. The first class I ever did, first seminar I ever did, the only thing that saved me was there was a podium in the room. It's the only room I have ever taught in that had a podium. And I was clinging to the podium the whole time because my knees did not want to stay up. And the only thing that kept me up was that I could hold on to the podium. And I got great reviews on that seminar and everybody loved it. And I've subsequently taught a ton, but oh my God, I was so scared. Oh. And that was, yes, like a bazillion years ago. And I get that, but there's gotta be a first time at some point. And you guys, I mean, I saw what you did for virtual when you did virtual AG and you were great and you're going to be great in person. And if you need me to come and hold your hand or be your cheerleading section or whatever it is, I am totally up for that. I've done it for other people. It's not a problem. And if you want to come and sit in the back of my class and make faces at me, except you, Adam, you can't do that because that would kill me. You can come and do that. It's fine. I'm my class style is pretty easy. So.
Okay.
And here's Eric being.
These are the ones that I'm going to be worrying about that are sitting in the back of my class.
Oh, there you go. Well, you know what? I have the power to keep them out. So if you don't want them in your class, you can tell me and I can make that happen.
Well, Adam, if you start up with me, you know, I am the teacher of the class. I could send you to, you know, go see your father somewhere.
What if he's at the class with me?
Adam has this, I'll call it a healthy competitive streak that he likes to give Justin a hard time over in the Discord server.
Oh, good Lord. Yes, I've heard you. I heard, where were you where you were talking about that the other day? Gosh, now I don't remember, but you were talking about it somewhere.
Oh, and the 30-minute Ask Me Anything, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, that's where it was. Thank you. So Eric is, I like what Eric said. And apparently someone's threatening now with following me with a team of cheerleaders. Wow. Okay. Sorry. I'm such a show host. I read all the friggin' comments. Sorry.
I mean, that's good, right? So Eric said, what a time to tune in. You guys are going to do great. You know your stuff and you get excited to talk shop. That's the core. And Cindy says, I'm going to cheer the nerds on.
Yay.
And Rusty says, I'll make faces at you, Kristine, and I might take a team of cheerleaders to follow you.
Oh, it's my spirit animal. That's Mandy. Okay. Mandy is our spirit coordinator for Applique Getaway. So I call her my spirit animal because it just sounds funny.
It sounds better.
Sounds better. She's my spirit animal. Yep.
So,
I need to join your Discord group. I'm sorry. Remember, I'm 53. What exactly, please, is a Discord group?
Do you remember when the internet first turned internet and there were the chat rooms?
Yes.
It's like that.
Oh, cool. Why do I need to join? What happens there? Do you pick on each other?
Adam likes to give Justin a hard time.
Okay.
It's actually one of the nice things about Discord is you can actually break it down into subjected rooms. So on the Embroidery Nerd server, we have one for digitizing, a show and tell, deals. Justin, help me out. I can't remember the other ones.
I mean, we're breaking down to everything: sublimation, digitizing, discussion, show and tell. Like you said, deals. I don't have it. I guess I could open it up here and take a look at it. Yeah, it's just it's kind of a if you look at it, it actually looks kind of old school, and the way the whole setup is like Jeff said, one of the old chat rooms. We have stuff where we're discussing things on the trade shows when they're going on. There's a meme section.
That's Adam's favorite.
Embroidery marrow.
Yep.
Well, I should check that out. Someone should send me a link to that. Hint, hint, hint.
Hold on, I can type.
Hint, hint.
Hold on, you can type. Okay.
Put it in the chat.
Oh, there we go. mnerd.com Discord. Okay, I'll check it out.
So we actually started, Matt started doing a links thing, and I think you have that, don't you, Justin? So it's kind of like a links tree, except it's self-hosted. Matt made it. We just say Matt made it.
Matt made it.
That's how we explain really technical stuff. Matt made it.
Matt made it.
But yeah, so I'm pretty excited for Applique Getaway. Adam, what are you most excited for with that's going to be at Applique Getaway?
Seeing how
See, you put him on the spot now.
I know.
I'll get back to you on that.
That's a very good answer. I like him.
So are there classes going on at the same time, or are the classes all, one after the other kind of stacked?
No. There are blocks of classes, 4 or 5 classes to a block. So at the same time, there'll be 4 or 5 classrooms running with different things happening in them. So
okay, so you could get into a situation where you would want to attend more than one class and have to pick which one.
And that is unfortunate, and we're sorry about that because we have a lot of really awesome classes, but there's really, with the amount of education that we offer, there really is no way we can't stack them because it'd be 5 days of just classes and no shopping and no anything else. So.
Okay.
So
I'm interested because you guys did in-person Applique Getaway last year, right?
We did, yes.
Okay. So there's a themed shopping night.
Yes.
I've never heard of a themed shopping night before. So this is my
Well,
first
you have not
experience.
lived, man.
Well, I'm so young. Not really. But so what exactly is a themed shopping night? How does that work?
Okay, last year's theme was groovy in the 70s, I believe is what it was, or something like that. And we all dressed up in 70s disco garb, basically, or something similar. I wore tie-dye, a lot of bell bottoms, a lot of platform shoes, that kind of stuff. And you just dress up, and then everybody goes and walks around to all the vendors and shops. And there's, possibly some alcohol and drinks and food and prizes and fun, and that's what we do. This year the theme is decoration through the decades, so you can pick your favorite decade and wear something. You can be, well, I don't know, you might not be a flapper from the 20s, but somebody could be. You guys could wear zoot suits, I guess. Is that the 20s?
We've already been recruited.
I'm sorry?
We've been recruited.
From who recruited you?
The person who's going to have a booth next to ours.
Also, what's a zoot suit?
And what, Nikki?
Yeah.
What is Nikki planning? I don't know anything about this.
Oh, I think that maybe you should find that out the hard way.
Oh, you are just mean. That's all.
Well, I mean, we have to leave some suspense for the people that are watching.
Well, this is true. And I guess, now that you've told me, I can use that as one of my marketing themes. Find out what Designer's Alley is going to be wearing at Decoration Through the Decades.
There you go.
But that's what we're calling you guys, by the way, is everybody that's got the tables.
Oh, okay.
Your Designer's Alley now. I've decided.
Okay. And there are other streets too?
Nope, just Designer's Alley. You're it. Somebody said, I was doing a vendor voices with somebody, and I don't remember who right now, but go watch the vendor voices and you can find out who it was. And they said, oh, it's like Diagon Alley from, or however one pronounces that, from Harry Potter. And I said, well, we can't call it that. And we can't call it Digitizer's Alley because you're not all digitizers, but you are all designers. So that works.
Okay.
So
you've been doing a lot of vendor voices.
Sure.
You have one coming up with Adam.
I do.
Tuesday. You should see his setup. It's similar to my setup, but probably a little bit better.
Cool.
He's excited. He's really excited for that, right?
I am too. It's going to be fun.
And that is going to be on
June
Thursday,
2nd.
June 2nd. Yep, because school gets out on June 1st.
So he did not waste any time. He's like, first thing I'm doing is talking to Kristine. I like it.
Yeah, he had the calendar up. He's like, what day? I was like, oh, this is going to be fun.
And then you and Justin still need to schedule yours, by the way. Not that I'm nagging or anything, but you do.
Oh, boy. Now you just derailed me. I lost all the thoughts in my head.
It happens.
I've been meaning to. I will here soon.
Okay. Well, it's a great opportunity to promote your company and what you're doing and what you're going to be talking about at the show and your classes, and help promote the show too, which, by the way, y'all have those lovely affiliate links that you can put out and get people to register, and, you get a cut of those. So it's a win-win for everybody. So plus everybody, all the M nerds need to come because holy crap, people, this is right in your wheelhouse. Why would you not?
So I just did drop a link in there. That is the main link for the Embroidery Nerd. But there is the specific link on there that you can click on there that if you haven't registered for AG yet, that's our affiliate link. So it is on that links, that Embroidery Nerd link list that I just posted there.
Cool.
Given that our crowd, I think, is majority of industrial embroiderers and decorators, how would you say the difference is between shows that are geared towards that type of crowd and Applique Getaway?
Less than there used to be, because when I came on board, because I came from that side, I've been recruiting more of that crowd, I guess, if you want to call it that, So kind of now, I think we cover a little bit for everybody. We've got, if you're a beginner and you're just starting a business, we've got stuff for that. If you are somebody who just is crafting and likes to do it for, and not just, I shouldn't say that, but if you're somebody who enjoys crafting and you do it more for the pleasure of doing it, we have classes for that. If you're somebody who's commercial and you run a business, we have classes for that. And we have vendors for that. So we kind of cover the gamut. And some of our vendors are a little bit of both, and some of them are much more commercial. And that was honestly kind of by design, because the original show was more crafter based when Lindsay started it way back in the day. And part of the reason that she brought me in is because I had connections with the other side of it. And because people knew me, they were a little more willing to maybe take a chance, because, you know, they knew where I was coming from. And for the ones that did last year, the people that came from the commercial side, they blew the doors off the place. Their sales were huge. So it worked out. So, but I think, you know, it kind of depends on what you're looking for a little bit too. I mean, there's going to be gaps in what we can do because there's only so much time, and, you know, we're trying to meet the needs of a lot of diverse populations, but I think we do pretty well. I don't know what the right grammar is there, but I think we do okay at that. Let's put it that way, which isn't the right grammar, but I'm going to say it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm excited to go. It's going to be a long drive, but I definitely think that it's going to be worth it.
Matthew, come on.
Is now Take a Chance in Me from ABBA.
And Matthew, you need to schedule your vendor voices too, by the way. As long as I'm nagging everybody else, I might as well nag you too.
Uh-oh.
It's pretty bad that the 11-year-old is the one that's organized enough to already schedule it. Not us.
I'm just saying. I mean, Adam so far gets a gold star because he's the only one, and he wrote a very professional email and asked me about how to do it, and the whole thing was, so the 11-year-old is winning being an adult right now. I'm just saying.
You know, it's funny. He sells jiu-jitsu kind of related products, and we go and we train at a jiu-jitsu gym here locally. And there's been a couple of times that he's walked in there to the guy that owns the school, and he says, "Business kid to businessman." And that means it's time to have a serious conversation, usually about pricing. And it kills me every time he walks up there and he's like, "Business kid to businessman." And but he's on top of it. He's really excited. He's working on professional writing with his emails and that kind of stuff. So he's really trying to work on all of that. Last year during the summer, he was interviewed 3 times by the local school system. So he's really trying to work on the professional communication. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I got to say, I'm a professional writer, and I thought his email was wonderful. So gold star on that, Adam.
Well, it was wonderful because he was asking you, how do I sign up for vendor voices?
Well,
right?
That too. But I mean, you know, it was very professional and he was well spoken. But yes, it was wonderful because he was actually doing what I asked him to do, which is something apparently the adult nerds have not mastered yet, but that's all right.
As we all look over at Justin.
We're still learning. Hey, it's not just me.
You know, I'm just giving you a hard time. You guys are my favorites. Don't tell anybody else, but you are. So
it's officially on the internet. It can't be taken away. So that means it's true forever.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know.
Matt says that Adam can do my vendor voice email.
Well, it's not an email, it's an interview. And no, he can't because he's not you, but
that depends.
That depends. You can be Matt in a pinch.
Oh
dear.
In a creepy way.
For a nominal fee, he could sit in for Matt.
Kind of
Well,
like
you
you
know,
right
hey,
now.
he's not. There you go,
I am
entrepreneurial
right
kid. I
now.
love it.
Oh boy.
Seriously, I should hire him to be on my marketing team. Good Lord.
So the show, is it Thursday through Sunday, or is it Friday through Sunday?
Friday through Sunday.
Okay.
There's
And
classes
are the
on Thursday that are pre-show classes, which Lisa Shaw teaches. And then there are classes Friday morning. I think you guys are maybe teaching one of those. I don't remember. And then the shopping thing happens Friday night. And then full vendor floor, full class schedule Saturday, after hours with Lisa on Saturday night. And then Sunday, vendor floor and classes until 3 p.m. And then we do prize giveaway. And then everybody pulls down their booths and we all go home, except for those of us that aren't leaving until Monday, who collapse somewhere and eat lots of food and probably drink some stuff.
That's us. We're not leaving till Monday.
Well, you know, party somewhere after. Well, or party at the hotel, because we're all going to be too tired to want to go anywhere. But the hotel actually has good food and they have a nice bar. So
Do they have cake?
they do have cake. If I remember correctly, they had a pretty good chocolate cake last year.
You can
So-
tell how many hotels he stayed in.
That's the most important thing is cake.
It is.
It's not a party until you have cake or cupcakes.
Well, I will. I'll talk to the hotel staff and see what we can do. My wife would like to know if there will be a zebra in the petting zoo at AG 2022. Where is there a petting zoo, Matt?
Wait.
Am I missing? Is there a joke that I'm missing here?
I mean, well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I made Matt's wife a zebra bunny plush thingy.
Oh,
So I think that's it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm clueless most of the time.
because he taught a class with Alexis Galloway on In the Who, rabbits and eggs for Easter.
yes, I remember that.
Yep. So he did the design, and actually during the class when he was teaching, he made one for Matt's wife, and it was zebra print, minky. So there's
Oh, well,
that
and
info.
there you go, Adam. You got an offer now that if the cake isn't good enough, Mandy will take you out for cake. So, and you'll like Mandy. Mandy's a riot. She's hilarious. So strange women are now asking to take you out for cake. So there you go.
If my dad gets to come too, I'm all good with it.
All right. I love that. A prudent young man. I love that.
Yeah, that's pretty much his whole thing. If my dad can come, I'll do it. So that's how I'm gonna get to go to all the shows and see all the things now, is because he's just gonna let me piggyback. I'm his ride.
Yours fine. I love it.
Are the classes, are they all the same length, or does it depending on the subject matter of the class, or how does that work?
The VIP classes are an hour and 15. The regular classes, the standard classes are an hour. And then the stuff that Lisa teaches on Thursday, those are like 4-hour blocks of time. Those are much longer. So, but the standard classes, like I said, VIP is an hour 15, and regular is an hour. So
And for those that haven't registered yet, is it something where they can register for individual classes? Do you have package deals? How does that work?
there's a couple of ways you can do it. One way is to just buy a VIP ticket. A VIP ticket means you just pay a fee, you get lunch, you get a special goodie drawing, you get some other stuff, and then you just pick your classes and you have access to the VIP classes. If that's not what you want to do, if you just have 1 or 2 classes you want to take, you can do what we call a Create Your Way package, which is you pay a lesser fee. I think it's $25 to register, and then you pay individually for each class you want to take. So depending on if you just want to go in and like dive into all the classes, it's probably cheaper to do a VIP. I think VIP Pro comes in at 205. Regular VIP is 165, if I remember correctly. And that gives you access to all the VIP classes, which if you do a Create Your Way package, you can't take any of the VIP classes. So that's something to consider. If, the VIP classes are the ones that are really grabbing you, then you should probably pay for that. And honestly, I think VIP is a better deal, but for some people, they just only want to take 1 or 2 classes, or they're only coming in for a day or something. So they don't want to spend that much money because they're not going to be there that long. So.
Okay. But it sounds like if you want to take 2 or 3 classes, then it's probably better than the VIP.
Well, and that's why the Create Your Way option is new this year, because we knew that there might be people who were coming in, or people who Nikki Sassy Nation, who maybe only wanted to come in to see what she was doing, which I think is kind of sad because I love Nikki, and I mean, that's great, but there's a lot of stuff happening at the show, so you take advantage of all of it. But, if you only have one specific class you want to see, or one specific teacher, whatever, you can do that if you want to. But personally, I recommend, go full bore and take the whole thing. And Cindy, it ends at 3 p.m. on Sunday.
Okay. So it sounds like it's going to be just like a giant party the whole time.
It's fun. I mean, there's a lot of learning that goes on, and certainly a lot of shopping. But yeah, it's fun. There's a lot of, Mandy is, like I said, my spirit coordinator. She wanders around with a basket of prizes and makes people jump up and down and get excited the whole time. And she leads cheers, which is hilarious and kind of scary. And it's fun. And like I said, the people are really friendly. Everybody's really open. You're not going to get, it's not like there's this little group of people that are just there with themselves and they don't want to talk to the rest of us. Most people are really, really great. And it's just a real party. And, Adam will not be the only 11-year-old there. Lindsay brings her kids. Christina Schulman from Love That Cotton brings her kids. Carly, who is our director of registration, brings her 4 kids. There's all sorts of kids all over the place at this thing. Adam will, however, be the only one teaching. So there is that. What's the opposite of a suitor?
Like back in the day, they would have gentlemen suitors that would come. I got it. I thought it was funny.
I didn't.
He doesn't get it.
I understand what a suitor is. I'm just really not. Something flew by me there apparently, but that's all right.
Oh,
it's been a long day. My brain isn't working that well. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of people who want to take Adam for cake.
Oh, I see. I see. Well, this bodes well for Adam's future.
There is that. So he's pretty excited to teach, right?
Yeah.
He's further along in his course materials than I am. But he also sends professional emails too. So I'm not doing that either.
I think we may need to get grown-up lessons from Adam, because I don't know.
I think it's easier to be a grown-up when you're a kid because you only get a small section of it and not the whole of being a grown-up.
The whole shebang.
Well, I got to say, I was pretty much a kid like Adam. I was very responsible and probably hyper diligent. So I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing that he's showing those characteristics now.
I don't know.
We'll see. He wants to have employees by 18.
Good for him. Go for it.
I don't know. I don't think they're all going to fit in this basement, though.
Well, if he's big enough to have employees, he's big enough to buy space.
It depends on where you live.
Oh, I suppose that's true.
Space is pretty expensive here, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Well, yeah. And actually, now that you mention it, where I live, resort town, space is very, very expensive. So
absolutely.
That'll do it. Oh, I'm reading, let's see, comments here.
Yep. That's the best comment. I don't know how to make that emoji, but it's the best one. And Grace is coming. So
Yep.
you said a lot of kids are going to be there.
Mhm.
How many kids usually come to the Applique Getaway?
It's a very kid-friendly show, and like I said, Lindsay has 6 kids. Now, 2 of them are adults now and in college, but she has 4 that are, I think, I'm going to get the ages wrong, so I'm not going to say them, but 2 that are teenagers or close to teenagers, and then 2 that are still younger around. Well, I think Jacoby's around Adam's age or a little younger, and Cadence is 6 now, I think. And so they all come, and Carly has 4 kids: Nathan, Wesley, Morgan, and Colton. And then, like I said, Christina brings her 2 little girls, and other kids come with their parents. And then there are attendees who bring their kids as well. So there's a lot of kids.
There was a really good question that I'm actually going to pull out, because it was one
Uh-oh.
it was actually one that somebody had asked you.
Uh-huh.
And I do believe that it was, if we bring a kid, do we have to buy a kid ticket or a kid pass to the show?
Oh, yes. And at the time, the answer was yes. You had to buy them a ticket because they were taking up seats in the class. We've kind of modified that a little bit. If you want to bring a kid for the young entrepreneur class, just register yourself, and there's a space where you can put the kid's name, I think. Or if you're bringing somebody to that class, you can put their name in there, so you can do that. But the theory is, honestly, that if you're taking up a seat in a class, that's a lot of the classes instructors get a percentage of. So, if we have too many kids in a class that aren't paying to be in the class, then we're cutting into people's profit margin a little bit. And so that's still something that we may need to talk about a little more, because I understand people want to bring their kids, but we also have to do things like age limits, because we don't want, to have somebody bringing a baby into a class and disrupting the class. So that kind of thing. And honestly, it was a question that had really not come up before. Most of the kids that come, their parents either, there's a tag team thing where someone can watch the kids while another person goes to a class or whatever, or they're just coming for shopping, so they're not going to classes. But if there's somebody who really wants to come and they want to have a child in a class for some reason, you can always talk to me or Lindsay, and we'll be happy to see what we can do.
Okay. That was more of an answer than I was expecting. Because when
the question first came up, and I remember that, we had never really talked about it. And I kind of went to Lindsay and said, well, what do you think? And her off the cuff answer was, well, if they're taking up a seat in a class, they've got to pay, because that's where the revenue comes from. And
right. And it makes a lot of sense.
Well, yeah. And, if the teachers are putting their effort into building a class so they can get butts and seats, so hopefully they can get a nice payout, we can't be going, well, half of your class is, and I mean, that's an exaggeration, but we want to make sure
that our class might be kids.
Well, half of your class will most likely be kids, because that's the point of your class. But your class is a special little jewel of an animal, and it is not, most of them aren't like that. But I mean, we are willing to work with people, certainly, always, and we'll certainly give you we'll certainly listen to whatever you have to say on the subject. But, the bottom line is that as much as we love having everybody at the show, as much as this is a kid-friendly show, it is also a show that we are working to make money with. It's not a philanthropic effort, which is harder to say than you would think. I mean, we are in the business of, at the end of the day, putting on a show that's going to bring in revenue. So,
well, and to put on a show, you have to be able to get people to come to teach at the show, and to be able to do that, there's usually, there are expenses that you guys have to cover, and at the end of the day, everybody needs to have food on their table. And That's
and we don't want to, we never want to say that anyone, that we won't work with anyone or we won't listen to anyone's request, but there are, hard and fast realities. And one of them is, as much as we love it that you want to bring your kids to the show, they're taking up a seat if they're in classes. And honestly, on some level, depending on the age of the kid and their interest level, they may not want to be in the class necessarily. If they're really interested, that's one thing. But, there's also the parents that are like, my kid needs to be here. And it's like, maybe the kid doesn't want to be there. I got dragged to some stuff I didn't want to be at when I was a kid. So.
How many people on average usually go to the AG? As far as the
depends. We usually say 1,000 is our target. I think we're going to surpass that this year, honestly. Early registration has been, we did 20% of last year's total revenue in the first week of registration being open. So I think we're going to do really well this year. And obviously, the more people we can get in the door, the better off we are. Of course, there are occupancy limits for the venue. So, we're topped off at some point. But I would guess we'll probably do somewhere between 1,200 and 1,500 this year. But I could be being overly optimistic too. But 1,000 is fairly standard.
So now to register, we go to Eventbrite.
No, if I could reach through that camera, I would smack you right now. Have you not seen the hashtag Eventbrite sucks like about 5 million times?
I did.
No, you go to appliquegetaway.com and then you click the little register button in the menu and then you can register. And it is not Eventbrite. We are actually using a different service, which is less expensive and better. So.
Oh, okay. Are you guys going to do a virtual Applique Getaway again this year?
You didn't read your vendor checklist, did you? Or your exhibitor package. But yes, we are. And all the vendors that are teaching at actual Applique Getaway are also included and invited to produce content for virtual Applique Getaway. So Adam, start thinking about what your video is going to be.
There you go. I read that. I was asking the question so that everybody out there that's wondering in TV land.
Okay. Yeah, we decided because it just made more sense and on a lot of levels, if you sign up to be a vendor for one, then you have the opportunity, if you want it, to be the vendor for the other at no additional charge. And the reason we did that is because, first of all, it gives us continuity between the virtual show and the actual show. And second of all, the more content we have for the virtual show, the more people we get signing up. So, and after last year and all the problems we had with Eventbrite and everything, we just really wanted to make this year's virtual just, blow the doors off the place. So we're hoping that everybody will participate and all the vendors will just create amazing content and we'll just educate the crap out of people.
Now, is a virtual version of the class that they're teaching, or is it a shortened?
We haven't talked about that, and I'm not sure which way we're going to go with that yet, because I had the thought, we had a lot of people that have said, I can't go to actual for whatever the reason. Are you going to be recording classes? Are you going to be doing anything like that? And we're not recording any classes at actual this year because honestly, we tried it last year and it was horrible. The recordings were not bad, but it's so hard to, unless you just spend a crap ton of money, it's really, really hard to get a good recording. You need multiple cameras. You need people who are expert in doing that. And it's way more expensive than what we can charge for being able to access the class. So that's a long way of saying, because we're not recording this year, I am thinking that maybe it would be nice if some of the people who are teaching live could put their class on video so that people who couldn't be at the live show could see it. But the flip side of that is then everybody that did come to actual may not want to watch virtual because they'll have already seen everything. I don't know. It's a
double-edged
so we
sword.
haven't made a firm decision on that one yet. In fact, I don't even think Lindsay knows what I'm thinking about that yet. So, oops.
Waiting for Lindsay to type in the comments.
No, Lindsay is actually either at a sports practice or a concert for one of her kids. So she'll have to see this after the fact, I guess. Matthew says, can you buy virtual access to the recordings?
I think you just
yes for the
answered
virtual
that.
show, but there will be no recordings this year from the actual show other than Lisa's after hours that will be streamed. But otherwise, we tried it last year, and honestly, it was just, I mean, my class was one of the classes that was recorded, and after I saw it, I went, oh no.
That's what I say every time I see myself on camera. After I record it and I go back to watch it, it's like, oh boy.
Well, I mean, it was more just, like I said, you almost need multiple cameras and you need a specific room and a specific setup to get the recording that you need so you can see the slides and you can see the instructor and you can get audience reaction. And that's expensive to get. It's very, very, so unless, if you're going to charge $500 a class, then yay. But if you're charging, $85 or $90 or whatever it is, there's no way that's cost effective. So a little insight into how we plan shows. I'm sure you all wanted to know that.
So you had a question?
Yeah. Kristine, on average, how many kids are typically there?
Oh, she already answered that one.
Really?
He wants a number. Honestly, Adam, I'm not sure what the number would be, and it might be a little more this year because the class that you guys are teaching. So I would say at most, maybe, gosh, I never counted, 40, maybe 50.
There's going to be like 1,000 to 1,200 because we're all kids at heart.
There you go. But I mean, I wish I could give you a firm number, but honestly, I don't really know. Between the kids that the children of the vendors who are there and the kids who come with their parents, Mandy says maybe 12 kids. It was more than that, Mandy.
You get 12.
I just hope I can make friends with all of them.
Probably.
You'll have fun.
So we've talked a little bit about the class format and the classrooms. So obviously there's limited space because they are physical rooms. What are the caps for every class and as far as attendees? Is it something that you want to register now and get?
Well, you always want to register now, but we don't assign classrooms until, and I'm losing my, there we go. We don't assign classrooms until we get a little closer to the actual date of the show, because we wait and we try to get as much registration done as possible so that we have a pretty good idea. Our biggest classroom holds 200. We have some smaller classrooms that we're really thinking we're not going to be able to use that could probably do 25 to 40. We have a couple of classrooms that can do 100. One that I think is 150, 75, 50. We have a couple of those. So it kind of depends on, like I said, we wait until registration is pretty close to done, and then we assign classrooms. So
if I'm just somebody out there in TV land that registered for the show and I was coming, what do you recommend people bring with them when they come to Applique Getaway?
A notebook.
A notebook?
And a pen. Even though I'm working on getting some Applique Getaway notebooks and pens made so we can hand them out to everybody that's going to the classes, but that's a whole nother thing, and that may happen and it may not. I don't know. Dress in layers, wear comfortable shoes, bring water, and just basically just bring all your questions and bring your excitement and, your desire to learn things, because this is really a show about learning more than anything else, I think. And and Mandy says, bring an empty suitcase for all the stuff you're going to buy. And this is, yes, I've had this recommendation from more than one person. Bring an empty suitcase. If you're flying, don't bring clothes, just bring the suitcase. Cindy says money.
Wait, what if you bring one suitcase that's full of all your clothes and necessary items and all that, and then bring another suitcase for show?
There you go.
We're driving. We have a whole car.
We have the
so you can bring all the suitcases you want.
Yeah, at least one.
Yeah, unlike me, I have to fly, so I'm bringing the ones. Of course, I shouldn't say this, but I don't really buy a lot because, as we've already talked about, I don't do any of the stuff that you guys do. So.
All right.
We did have a candy maker who asked if they could be at the show this year. I had to tell them no, but their candy looked really good.
Now we're not going to have candy at the show.
Well, there's a whole hotel there. Good Lord. They have cookies and candy and all sorts of stuff. You're fine.
I'm sure that probably opens up a whole nother slew of regulations and whatnot.
Well, yeah, and our agreement with the venue says no outside food.
Yeah, that could do it too. All right. Well, we're coming up on our hour, so I'm going to just ask. I have one more question, and I'm going to ask everybody. So feel free to be nervous. What are you most looking forward to about going to the show?
Meeting people.
Okay.
All right.
In real life, not virtually.
I am looking forward to teaching. I've never taught a large number of people, so I think it'll be a fun and interesting experience. And I've never been to Applique Getaway before, so I'm just really excited to attend the whole thing. Justin, what are you most looking forward to?
Definitely teaching. I think it's going to be a challenge to what I'm bringing to the show as far as the 3D puff genre, crossing over into that home market. I'm starting to learn that it is a little bit different application and different uses. So I think it's going to be fun trying to get into something a little bit new, a little bit off my norm.
Awesome. All right, Kristine, no pressure. What are you most looking forward to about going to the show?
Honestly, just seeing it come together, because there's so many details and we've worked so hard on it. And this is like, that weekend is my payoff. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to be working my behind off the whole weekend because that's, I'm one of the people running the show, but just seeing people learning and experiencing the atmosphere that I want them to experience and having the fun that I want them to have, and knowing that I was part of making that for me that's everything right there. So hopefully that was a good answer.
I mean, it's an answer, and I'll accept it. And I think it was a good answer, but ultimately, it'll be interesting to see when people come.
So if you haven't registered yet, go ahead and click that link. You'll see our affiliate link on there and register through us. If you do want a little bit more information about the show, you can go to the appliquegetaway.com and check that out and see what the show is offering.
And you'll see all of us there. If you register for Applique Getaway, you'll see all four of us and Matt, who's in the comments.
I'm substituting for him.
That's why we keep Adam around. That's why we substitute. All right. But with that, guys, it is the top of the hour. And so we're going to go ahead and close it out. I'm Jeff Fuller from Fuller Embroidery Works. This is Adam Fuller from BJJHats.com. We have Mr. Justin Armenta from JA Digitizing and PuffProTool.com. And we have Kristine Shreve from Applique Getaway, Women in Business, Lenny Penny Designs, Kristine Shreve Consulting, formerly at Enmart like 7 years ago, and running the Applique Getaway. And we are all here representing the Embroidery Nerd. And you guys, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Bye.